BBC News at midday. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service has said 3 people have died after a fire broke out at a hotel in Perth. Guests were evacuated from the new county hotel at around 5 o'clock this morning, as 21 ambulance crews and 9 fire trucks were called to the scene. The emergency services have confirmed that a dog also died. Police have urged members of the public to avoid the area. Scotland's Deputy First Minister John Swinney said the news was heartbreaking and his sympathies were with all those affected. The Ukrainian army says it killed several hundred Russian soldiers in a rocket attack in the eastern region of Donetsk on New Year's Eve. It said the strike hit a school being used as a Russian base in the occupied town of Makiivka. A Russian official said the attack was carried out with long-range HIMARS rockets, which have been supplied to Ukraine by the United States. Hugo Beshega reports from Kiev.
A video said to be from the school hit in Makiivka showed the building completely destroyed. A Russian-backed official said the strike had resulted in deaths without giving numbers. He described it as a massive blow. Russian military bloggers report that a base housing conscripts was hit and that hundreds had been killed and wounded. Ukrainian officials claim about 400 soldiers were killed, a number that hasn't been independently verified. If confirmed, this could be one of the deadliest attacks by Ukrainian forces on Russian targets in the war.
The Royal College of Emergency Medicine has warned that some accident and emergency departments are in a complete state of crisis. Rising COVID cases and a severe flu outbreak have been blamed for adding demand to already stretched services. And yesterday, the college suggested that between 300 and 500 people could be dying each week due to delays in emergency care. This morning, the college's Vice President, Dr. Ian Higginson, said he stood by the figures.
We're hearing of patients who are in our emergency departments waiting to be admitted now for up to 4 days. It used to be 4 hours. So that is appalling. And it goes without saying that if you can't get an ambulance, there's a risk associated. If you're in an ambulance car park, we can't treat you properly. And if you're in a hospital corridor, we certainly can't treat you properly. It's going to harm patients.
The government says it's providing more than £14 billion in additional funding for health and social care over the next 2 years. Thousands of people are paying their respects to the Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, who died on Saturday at the age of 95. His body, dressed in papal mourning robes, is lying in state at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, from where our correspondent Bethany Bell reports.
As dawn broke over the Vatican, a queue was already forming at the edge of St. Peter's Square. At the front was a priest from the Philippines who said he admired the theological writings of the former Pope. A nun from Croatia said she was grateful for all that Benedict had done. His body, dressed in red and gold vestments, is on display in front of the main altar in St. Peter's Basilica. People will be allowed to pay their respects until 7 p.m. each evening, ahead of the funeral on Thursday.
Volunteers are being recruited to identify sharks, skates and rays captured on underwater cameras around the coast of northwest Wales. The project is designed to help build a better picture of the diversity of marine species in the area. More details from Amelia Clark.
Researchers had been monitoring a conservation area off the Welsh coast throughout last summer, using remote underwater cameras to capture the creatures living in waters off the Llyn Peninsula. Now they're asking members of the public, or so-called citizen scientists, to pitch in and review more than 90 hours of footage. It's hoped that with the help of at-home enthusiasts viewing the videos online, they can record sightings of protected and critically endangered species.
Amelia Clark reporting. BBC News.
Now on Radio 4, it's time for You and Yours with Shari Val.
Hello and welcome to a new year here on You and Yours and our first programme of 2023. So at the heart of what we do is looking at how and where you spend your money and what matters to you as a consumer. So today we've decided to focus on the stories that matter to a very special team of guest editors. They're students from the University Technical College in Salford, or UTC as it's known. Riley, Daisy, Niall, Karina and Millie set out to choose the topics that they wanted to explore for this programme. Living crisis, electric vehicles, fast fashion, to name but a few. So let's meet our guest editors. I sat down with 4 of the 5 students and asked them about the stories they explore for You and Yours and what they're hoping to achieve with this programme.
Hi, Hi, I'm Karina Mistry, I'm 17 and I'm currently studying TV and film.
Hi, I'm Niall Burkett and I'm 17 and currently studying digital design.
Hi, I'm Daisy Harbottle, I'm 15 and I'm currently studying media studies.
I'm Riley Smith, I'm 15 as well and I'm currently studying TV and film.
The first thing I need to ask you really is what you're doing here. You're inside the You and Yours office. We're sitting on a comfy sofa with a tape recorder in my hand. I'm presented with 17-year-olds, a 15-year-old at the UTC, which is over the road from the BBC studios in Salford. Karina, let me ask you, what is this project about? Just tell me exactly what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to tell people about fast fashion and how the money side of it is not great, or how people are treated in the backstages of it. And I also came here to learn more about how people are struggling with money and what they're doing to help themselves.
I'm here to strictly learn about why we're in this state of the world right now. Why has it happened and what can I do personally to help myself deal with this, especially being on the verge of being an adult.
So we've just heard from Karina that she's going to be looking at fast fashion. What are the specific subjects that were interesting you?
I did a topic on fast fashion during my digital design course, so I do know quite a lot about it, and it is very interesting to see how these companies are dealing with this state of the world right now and how they are profiting from it.
Yeah, and we'll be hearing a lot of detail about what you've discovered a bit later on in the programme.
I mainly kind of focused on the cost of living crisis that we're going to be discussing, but I want to learn and I want to also educate everyone else who has been listening who might not be as aware of issues that I am.
And why do you think, I mean, you're 15, why do you think you're aware of issues? And why do you think you've got knowledge and interest to pass on?
Well, I make myself aware in my personal home.